Hello, welcome to my channel. Today for tea we're making some Puri Patha. In fact, this is a ready-made patha, and this is how it's a quarter cup of oil we need onto a flat plate, and then we dip our patha on both the sides of the oil and then place it into our baking tray. I already have my oven preheated to 150, and we will place it into the oven, and thereafter this remainder extra oil, just pour them gently on top. You don't have to make it very oily. Now I'll push it into the preheated oven, which I heated up for 150, and thereafter I will check it after every 15 minutes. And now we'll go to making of our puri. For our puri we will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, sieved, 1 cup of, this is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1 cup of self-raising flour. And for the dough we will need 5 tablespoons of sour milk, 1 tablespoon of ghee, half a teaspoon of fine salt, 2 tablespoons of semolina, and a pinch of salt. So now I'm going to sieve in my dry ingredients. That's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, puri can also be made in various ways, like if you like jeera puri or savoury puri with some chillie bag mixture, half a cup of chillie bag mixture to your dough, and thereafter you can even make halwa puri, excluding the salt. That is if you're doing it for prayer. You can have sweet puri, you can have milky puri, so I will sieve in self-raising flour, and thereafter my 2 tablespoons of semolina, that is to avoid the oiliness, and my salt and a pinch of sugar sieved in. So with this 5 tablespoons of ghee, I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon. The ghee must be melted, so it will be easy to work with. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon for my dough, and the rest will go up into the frying. And now I'm going to mix up my dough. You mustn't make your dough very oily, then it becomes oily. So I'm going to add in my 5 tablespoons of sour milk, and gradually a quarter cup of lukewarm water. Gradually I'm going to pour in the water little by little.
You had boiled this water and then let it come back to temperature.
Lukewarm water.
Yeah.
By adding it up slowly, so you'll know how much of water you'll require. In fact, that was a cup. The dough mustn't be too soft. It must be a little stiff. we will dough up this dough. It's getting together nicely. Now the dough is done. It's not too soft, it's not too stiff. So I'm going to cover it up with a little bit of wax wrap paper and then clean up my surface. In the meantime, just wipe up my surface. I'm going to use the counter to roll my puris, and I got a pretty flower shape biscuit cutter, of which I'm going to make little patterns. I've got a tray with a piece of trestle paper to set up my puris, because we will roll our puri out and then take it out of the oil. In the meantime, I put my stove on low, very low, for the pot to heat. I've got a cup of oil for it to heat up, and the remainder 4 tablespoons of ghee into the pot to melt. And after every 15 minutes, I'm going to check up on the patha. So what I usually do, I make the puris a little big, and I'm making a small amount because we just few in the family, so we don't need so many. It will actually make about 2 dozen puris. So that is equals to 12 patha. Now I'm going to start rolling out my dough. I'm not going to go very thin on it. I'm going to have a little bit of a thickness on it. There you are. So I place my biscuit cutter and press into the dough. And pick it up, and we have beautiful shapes of puris. Okay, now that I got a dozen of puri rolled out, I actually want to show you all how I use to take it out, channel it from the oil. But I do have a remainder dough that can actually make another dozen. So I will start with channeling it. There's my melted ghee and oil, which is already quite hot. And I did turn my patha one round. Okay, let's just test the oil. Oil must be hot enough, then the puri wouldn't get oily. If your oil is not hot enough, then you get out oily puri.
So it's still too cold, this oil?
Yes.
Or it's getting there now?
It will get there. Okay, now we tested the oil. It's quite fine. You must only turn your puri thrice. That was the second turn. You can see the dough is well done. It's rising.
And it puffs up.
Another one more time. It's done.
You can see the pretty shape of a puri. Puri is quite soft and not oily. You can see this is puffing up. See, it's puffed up nicely. Yes, my dozen of puri that I've already channeled, and I'm going to start assembling it and see how puffed up these puris are, and they're quite soft. And my patha is done. In fact, I turned it 3 times around. And there's the patha. So I'm going to take one out and assemble it. And remember never to leave your patha when your oven is off thinking it will stay warm, because it actually dries up the patha and it doesn't be very moist for the eating. Thereafter, I'm going to use a squeeze of lemon juice and then brush on some dip that was already made. You can actually use raw onion rings to it, will give it a crisp. And then you take another puri and sandwich it together. This is your puri patha. There you go, your puri patha for your tea time. Enjoy and thank you very much.
Guys, we just passed 150 subscribers, so please share and don't forget to like and comment. Thanks for all the support.